All right, everyone, welcome to my course, Create and Manage a WordPress Multi-Site Network. I'm your instructor for this course, Mike Rawls. I want to discuss what we're going to be going over in this course. We'll go over creating this multi-site network to where you can offer blogs and WordPress websites to your customers, issue them on demand, and also connect them to a custom domain. So that's what we'll be discussing throughout this course. Anyone can take this course from beginners all the way out to experts. So don't be afraid to just dive right in to start this course. There's really no prerequisite for it. It would be helpful if you do a little bit more about WordPress, but I will take you step by step on how to complete every task throughout this course. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the Q&A section and within your dashboard on your end. If you find this course very helpful, also leave me a 5-star rating. If you feel like I don't deserve a 5-star rating for whatever reason, please feel free to let me know how I can make this course better and what I can do to provide a better experience for you in the near future. And I'll apply that to not only this course, to all my other and future courses. So without any further hesitation, let's go ahead and get started.
I know what you're thinking. Why can't you use just any web hosting company for your WordPress multi-site network? There are several reasons for this. The number one reason is that you want your services to actually work. Some web hosts turn off critical server functions for security reasons. If for some reason you deviate from this course material to choose a different web hosting provider, ensure that they provide the basic requirements for a WordPress multi-site network. You may review those requirements here. We will be installing our WordPress website within the cPanel Web Hosting Manager account in our VPS platform. There may be a few of you who would like to know what is a VPS and how does it compare to a standard shared hosting account. Similarly, you may also want to ask, why does any of this matter? Think of shared hosting as like living in an apartment complex. Even though you and your neighbors all pay separate bills, you all share resources in which some of them, such as water, is included. Everyone is limited to how far they can customize their apartment. Maintenance such as lawn care is taken care of by property managers. You end up paying less money than you would if you were living in a house. Alternatively, having a virtual private server is like owning your own house. You do not share resources with your neighbors, and you have to do your own lawn care and maintenance, which makes the cost of living a little higher. But you own the property and do renovations at your convenience. I have provided some more key differences between having a VPS and shared hosting account. Here's what you should remember about shared web hosting. It is less secure than a VPS, it offers less control, and your website is not the only one on the server. Technical support is provided to you. The maintenance of the server is provided by the web host. Virtual private servers offer more control. You serve as tech support for your clients. It is more expensive and may require some technical knowledge to set up. I'm not going to delve any further into VPS and shared hosting differences. I just wanted to only give a basic working knowledge of what we'll be working with. Previously, in our other video, we talked about how you went into the hosttech.com website to register for an account and sign up for your cPanel web hosting. So what we're going to do now is talk about the email that you're going to receive from hosttech.com, and it's going to have your login credentials. What you're particularly looking for is the WHM cPanel details, and it's going to have your URL for the address that you need to type in to access your VPS server. And it's also going to have your username and password. So make sure you keep this email. You can change that password or not change it once you log in. The choice is definitely up to you. But once you log in to that to that server, you'll be able to manage your virtual private server, your VPS. So what we're going to do is do exactly that. We're going to go to the address and log in. I already have my password saved and log in successful. And now you are in the root level of your virtual private server to where you can manage all the functionality of your cPanel accounts that's going to be added to this server. So now what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down to account functions, and this is how we're going to create an account. And this should be the same for everyone. Account functions should be a little bit on down the page depending on how you have your view or whatnot. But once you click on account functions and you're going to click on create a new account, and you're going to fill out this form to create a new account for your first cPanel account that's going to be listed here. So I'm going to go ahead and create an account just so you can see what it looks like. And again, just like the previous video, just like we discussed then, the domain that we put in here is not going to be the actual domain of the site. We're actually going to register for an actual domain that's going to connect to this cPanel account. So I'm going to put in micusmemory.com, and that's just like a username. Okay, then the actual username will be micusmemory. Then I'm going to come up with the password for here. And basically this is going to be the information that would normally be sent had this been an actual account for someone. So I'm going to type in an email address. I'm going to use an actual email address that I have for this sign up. And for package, I'm going to leave it as default and check this box. No, I'm going to leave this as default. Yeah. Then we'll scroll down. I'm going to say make this account a reseller and make the account own itself, only because this is going to be our main account for our WordPress hosting and all that stuff. So I'm going to make that make the account a resale account, make the account own itself. That way I don't run into any issues later on as far as permissions or anything like that. So these are the name servers, and we'll discuss that in the video later on. But this is going to be some good information you want to keep in mind, because you'll be able to provide this information to your clients whenever they want to transfer a domain or point a domain to our server or to your server at HostTech. That way their domain points to their web hosting or WordPress account. And I'm going to change this setting from automatically detect from local mail exchanger to automatically detect configuration. Always go with the recommended if you don't exactly know what you're doing and this and that. So I don't want to dig any further into mail routing settings or anything like that. So we're not going to be dealing with that too much in this course. So I'm going to hit create. And it's asking me to say my password. Close that out. Now it's telling me my password isn't strong enough, so I'm going to go back here and redo my password. Okay. Now I have done that, and I'm going to hit create. Now it's doing a account creation status. It's going through the scripts of creating a account. So everything was good to go. So if I click the top here and go back to account functions, and I go to, actually I'm gonna go here to the search bar and type in list accounts, and I'm gonna click that. It shows up, and now here's the new cPanel account that was created. And also here's my other account that was created, that I previously created, that I currently manage right now. And so once I click cPanel, the cPanel logo, it will take me directly to the cPanel of that account. So now we have created a cPanel account, and we can start adding files and installing WordPress and do all kinds of things in our cPanel account. Normally, if you were to buy a shared web hosting account, this is what you would see as far as into the root access of that server. You can only see your cPanel account. But since we're dealing with our own virtual private server, we can see the cPanel of all the different cPanel accounts that are installed in this server. So that is one of the main differences between having your virtual private server and having the shared hosting server or shared hosting accounts. So when we go back here to our cPanel, as you can see, we have everything you would normally see in a cPanel Linux web hosting account. So in the next video, what we're going to do is go ahead and install WordPress into this account. Or let me not say that. What we're going to actually do, we're going to purchase our domain. That way we won't encounter problems with installing WordPress. Hello everyone, I'm back again with the next video in this course. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and navigate and go to your cPanel web hosting manager, as we discussed in the previous video. So what you're going to do is go ahead and log in like so. And what we're going to do in this video is set up our wildcard domain. Now once we're logged in, you're going to go to list accounts. So type list accounts here, and it shows up before you even finish typing the full title. Click on list accounts, and you're going to click on the cPanel logo for the account that we created in the previous video. And it opens up in a new browser. So when you scroll down the page to the section labeled domains, and this is why this is important. When you create your wildcard subdomains, that's what's going to tell WordPress every time it issues a website to point that website to the right folder, to the right directory. So we're gonna, when we eventually install WordPress, we're gonna use the subdomain method for installing WordPress. So now what we're gonna do is click subdomains, and this is how you create a wildcard subdomain. You're gonna leave this blank, and what you're gonna do is type the asterisk symbol, Shift 8, and you're going to hit create. You're going to leave this, whatever it comes up as default, you're going to leave that there. We're going to change this in a few minutes, but I want to show you something before we go back in here and change it. So we're going to hit create, and now it has created that wildcard subdomain. So when we go back, that subdomain is listed here with the document root as being public _ HTML / wildcard _, but that is not the domain that we want. So let's go back to the dashboard of the actual cPanel account. Sorry, that's not it. Okay, so we'll click here, and we're going to go to the file manager, and we're going to look within the public HTML. Now we have this folder here. So cPanel automatically does this when you create a wildcard subdomain. But this is not the folder we want it to point to. So what we're going to do is go back to our cPanel dashboard here. Then we go back into the subdomains. And down here, we're going to change this to from wildcard to just public_HTML. So we're going to just delete the wildcard portion of that, hit change, and OK. So now we have saved our website with the right document root. So now we're going to go back and we're going to look into the file manager. So you can click here for file manager, take you to the file manager. And the folder is still going to be there, but now the wildcard domain is going to point directly to this folder instead of this folder. And as you can see right now, we don't have any files saved in here. Once we install WordPress, you'll see all of our WordPress files saved in this folder, which the wildcard domain will tell WordPress to point all the subdomain sites, so the subsites within WordPress, to the public_HTML folder. So let's go back. And actually, we're going to go back to subdomains and verify that is correct. Okay, so now that is correct. The reason this is very important, once we install WordPress, and I'm going to show you that troubleshooting method as well, but once we install WordPress and you see that everything is working, but when you try to access your subsites within your WordPress network, you get a 404 page not found error, more than likely your document root is incorrect. So if you just go in and you just change it to wildcard subdomain, but don't actually go back and check it like I just showed you just now, and make sure that it's pointing to the document root of where your WordPress website will be installed, then you will get that error. So that concludes this step within this process of setting up your wildcard domain within your cPanel hosting account.
Welcome back. This is the next video in this lecture, and what we're going to talk about is navigating the Enom reseller dashboard. What you should have done so far is read the previous article about how to navigate the dashboard. As you can see, if I am already signed in with my username, and once I click on my username, I'll be able to log in. You should receive your credentials via email and would have already completed the verification process. And now I'm going to go ahead and click my username and log into the dashboard. Now we're at the reseller dashboard. Here at the reseller dashboard, my information, my account information is right here on the left hand side. I currently have that information blacked out, so you cannot see it. Then we have this link here, edit domain pricing, and that's what we're going to use to edit the cost of these domains that we're going to sell on our website. But before we do that, let's take a look at this phone number here, and also with this phone number, we're going to talk about the PIN that's next to it. But with this phone number, it's for tech support, and the PIN and phone number is what's used to identify your account so that tech support can recognize who you are and know who you are when you call in. So each reseller gets a PIN. So enough about that. Let's go ahead and proceed on to the domain pricing. Now here at the domain pricing, we have a few things going on. As you can see, we have the TLDs for 1 year, the domains that we're going to sell on our website. When you look at all these different pricing options, I've already completed most of my pricing options here. I put mine a few dollars more than the minimum or more than what was suggested by Enom, just in case. As you scroll down, you can see there's hundreds of these top level domains, but I tried my best to go with the most used ones, and I stopped right about here with .ws, or was it this one? So one of those I stopped where I was going down the list updating the pricing. So your pricing may not look exactly like mine because my pricing was already updated, but you do what fits your scenario. So now let's go to the top, and we're going to click on 2-year domain, and with the top level domains for 2 years, same thing. Some of my pricing may have carried over from the 1 year. When you go in, you're just going to have to double check it. I've had my account for a while, so as you can see here, there are different pricing for the register to transfer and all that. And as you scroll down, you can see what Enom has suggested, and there's main differences, and these are some differences between the 1 year and the 2 year, of course, price. And as you can see, for transfer, it's not available. I'm not sure why that is, but yeah, these are the 2 year retail top level domain pricing. Yeah, so go ahead and at your leisure take a look at the pricing, review it, update it as needed. Yeah, and as you scroll down, you see there's several top level domains available from Enom. So click Save Changes if you have made any changes, and now these changes have been saved successfully. Now go back to, let's see what we're gonna go back to. Nah, that's pretty much it right there. So that's pretty much navigating the Enom reseller dashboard, and that's all that we need to do for this course. At your convenience, you could go in and look a little bit further. So if you haven't done so already, go ahead and log into the cPanel of the website that we created. And once you're there, just hold off for a second, just take a look at these files I'm about to show you. So I'm going to click File Manager. And as you can see, when you go into the File Manager, a new tab pops open, and you can see the directory of that cPanel. And we're going to install our WordPress into the public_HTML. Again, we're going to install our WordPress into the public_HTML. So when we click in the public folder, and we see a couple of things here. So first thing I want you to notice, this is the folder for the wildcard subdomain that is automatically created. This is the folder for the domain that is created. So when a domain is added on to a hosting account, another folder is created with the name of that domain within the public HTML site. So you could possibly have multiple domains hosted off this one account. So if I wanted another website called wildtarget.com, then there will be a folder called wildtarget.com, and the source files for the root of that particular site for that domain would be in that folder. So here are the WordPress files, and the WordPress files are installed in the root of the web server for the cPanel that we're installing WordPress for. So go ahead and close that tab for the file manager, and we're back here. So what you're going to do is you're going to go down, you're going to scroll down to site software. Okay, I'm going to scroll down site software and click site software. And as you can see right now, we don't have any WordPress websites installed. So now this says blogs. So this, let's see, So yeah, so we're gonna hit WordPress Legacy. As you scroll down, you'll see that we have to complete this form. If there are any other installations, they will be listed here, and we will be able to uninstall that installation of WordPress. So since I previously uninstalled that version of WordPress, I'm going to go ahead and reinstall WordPress. So I'm going to delete that because we don't want to install WordPress into a separate folder. And this is the incorrect domain, so we want to change it to the domain that we registered in the previous lecture. Then we want to create a username. So I'm going to create my username. And a password. And I'm going to use the email address. Use my email address, and I'm just come up with the name. You could leave it at default and change this information later, but sometimes I have several different WordPress sites open at the same time, so I want to be able to tell the difference between all of them. So Ninja Dates, Ninja Dates. So that's the name of my site. This particular site is going to be called Ninja Dates. So it's going to be the one of many dating sites. So my goal is to do a network of dating sites. So that's what I'm going to create within this example. Create new database. And I'm just looking over everything, make sure everything's good to go. And I'm going to hit install. Don't save. Okay. So now it has given me the success message. Now it has given me the all clear that my WordPress website has been created, and I can click on this link to go to my WordPress site. So I'm going to open this link in a new tab, and voila, the WordPress website has been successfully installed, and the root of the website, ninjadates.com. As we can go in and check and double check here just to make sure it was created correctly. Let's go back and let's go to File Manager and go to public underscore. So yeah, these files last modified. Let's see if I can see when these things were last created. No. Okay, so it installed correctly because it didn't install it into this folder, which is a good thing. So let's go back and let's close this tab. And we're going to go down, we're going to scroll down to subdomains. Or no, not subdomains. I think it's add-on domains. And this is what we're checking for. We're making sure that we tell the cPanel that for ninjadate.com, the root of it will be the root of the cPanel. So when we go here, what we're looking for is this. So it should look like this, which it does. So I'm going to hit close. So I'm just making sure that is correct. So let's go back, and I want to double check the subdomain again, make sure it all matches up. Or I should say the wildcard subdomain, which is this, and it matches up. We got the asterisk.ninjadate.com. WordPress has a few requirements before you can create your network. So to get a list of those requirements, you may visit the WordPress.org website, and in the search bar, you can type in create a network and hit search. As you can see, quite a few resources are here to assist you in finding out what those requirements are. So let's click the first article, which I believe is the correct one. As you can see, as a WordPress 3.0, you have the ability to create a network of sites by using the multi-site feature and all this stuff. So it tells you step 0 before you even begin. It gives you information that you need to know. Prepare your WordPress. Verify that pretty permalinks work on your single WordPress instance. Also deactivate all active plugins. You can reactivate them later, and it tells you what to do to activate multi-site. So this part is important, but this is equally important too. So if you scroll up and look at this link here, before you create a network, so click on that, and it asks you, do you really need a network? And it tells you the types of multi-site networks. We're going to be using the subdomain method for creating our network of sites, a network of WordPress websites. Basically what this means is that each site will have its own domain, its own subdomain, instead of its own directory. To issue these WordPress websites on demand, you cannot use the subdirectory method or the path method. So you have to use the subdomain, and WordPress has to be installed in the root of your site, and wildcard domain has to be supported by your web host. So as you can see, as you scroll down, it tells you administrative requirements. To create a multi-site network, you must be the administrator of a WordPress installation, and you normally need access to the service file system so that you can edit files and create a directory. So for example, you could access the service file system using FTP or using the file manager in cPanel or in some other way. And as you scroll down, there are more requirements. So this is one of the most important things here, just like I discussed. Wildcard subdomain by configuring virtual host, specifying the same document root for each, by creating add-on domains or subdomains in cPanel or in a similar web hosting control panel. And it goes on to talk about different server requirements, or what's required for this to work in WordPress. Now, keep in mind the following restrictions as well. You cannot create a network in the following cases. WordPress address URL uses port number other than 80 or 443. So I haven't run into any issues with this. So if you do run into any issues with the port number, definitely send me a message and contact me through this instructor dashboard. You cannot choose subdomain install for a domain-based network in the following cases, and it lists the following cases. So those are WordPress's requirements for creating a network. So now what we're going to do is go into our cPanel again, and we're going to go into our file manager and open file manager, and we're going to open public HTML, and we're going to edit a file here. So when you scroll down, you look at the WP config file, WP-config file. This is the file that we will edit. So what you're going to do is right click on this file, click code edit, click edit, and you're going to scroll all the way down until you see this line that says, "That's all, stop editing, happy blogging." So right above that line, you're going to type in this code. Define open bracket space single quotation mark WP underscore allow underscore multisite single quotation comma space true space close bracket semicolon. So this is what you need to type in right above "That's all, stop editing." Once you do that, hit save and close, or save changes then close. Okay, now what's going to happen is you will be logged out of your WordPress. If it doesn't immediately ask you for your information or ask you to log back in when you try to click something else, it should ask you for that. So it didn't do that, so let me go back here and let me refresh. Sometimes you have to refresh and there it goes. So once you hit refresh, it'll say network setup. So now it's asking me to deactivate my plugins, which we read earlier and I forgot to do that. So let's go back to your plugins, install plugins, select all of them, deactivate, go to tools, I believe it was tools, network setup. So we're gonna go with subdomains. So now it's asking us fill in the information below and you'll be on your way to create a network of WordPress websites, blah, 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 all that information. So what we need to do is keep this the same and just select subdomains and click install. So now what this is telling me is that there's a issue with my wildcard subdomain. WordPress tried to do a test and that test failed. So it's something that I didn't do correctly. So let's go back. Now you could still get this error even if you do everything correctly. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and double check. Doesn't hurt to double check and make sure that you got everything set up like you're supposed to. So I'm going back to the cPanel and I'll go down to the domain sections and hit subdomains, ensure that my wildcard subdomain is working or is listed correctly. It is. So that could be an error that is generated by WordPress. So we're going to proceed. We can't dismiss this error, but we're going to still proceed with our installation. So there are a couple of things that we got to do. So one, we got to copy this text in this first block and add it in the files like it says here. So I'm going to copy all this text. Go back to my file manager. Go into it. And I'm going to go to that file, which is the WP config. I'm going to hit code edit or edit. And right below where we pasted everything about multi-site, that's all, stop editing. Hit return or enter and paste all of that text in that first block. Yeah, go ahead and paste all of that text in that first block from here over to here. Now notice I didn't copy this. Actually, I need to copy that. Okay, so I'm going to hit save changes. Let's see. Now I'm going to select all this. And it's asking me to add it to the .htaccess file. And I'm going to go back to this. I'm going to close this. Okay, I'm going to make sure that I have this selected. Copy. And going back to the file manager, and I'm looking for the .htaccess file. So you're not going to be able to readily see it. So what you're going to have to do is in the top right hand corner of the, when you're in the file manager, hit settings, check show hidden files, and hit save. And there's your htaccess file. So you right click it, click edit, click edit again, and it's going to ask us to edit this. And hit save, then hit close. Okay, now let's go back to our WordPress. Now it should ask us to log in. Yep. So I'm going to log in again. And as you can see, we're now logged in to our WordPress, logged back in, and we are inside our network, and we have a network up and running. So let's go to appearance. So I just want to test something here. Let's check out the settings. Nope. Tools. So go to network admin at the top underneath my sites. Go to dashboard. Then go to settings, then network settings. And make sure you check both sites and user accounts can be registered. And scroll down. Check that allows site administrators to add new users. That's fine. And all this other stuff you can customize later. But let's see. Limit is 100 megabyte. You can increase this file size limit. It's 1500 KB. I'm gonna change it to 9. I'm gonna change this to 900,000. 9 million. No, I'm gonna change this to 9 million or 900 million. Okay. And click enable administration menus plugins and hit save. Okay, so now users and sites can be set up. So we do need to test this to make sure this actually works and the wildcard subdomain is actually issuing the websites like it should. So we're going to do a test here. So if you don't already have another browser, I would suggest you get another internet browser. Right now I'm currently using Mozilla Firefox. So I would suggest that you maybe use Internet Explorer. So we're going to open up Internet Explorer and I'm going to go to the website. So as I scroll down, it's just the basic template. I'm going to click register. And it says give me a site, or it says just give me a username. So I'm going to click give me a site. And I'm going to use a username, Kiss Media, and I'll use one of my other email addresses. Then click next. So now on the next page, it asks me my site domain name, and it's going to ask me my title for that site. And I'm going to click leave that as yes, then click sign up. So now I have been issued a site. Now I have been issued a WordPress website, and so with this WordPress website that I've now been issued, I will now go to my email. So I'm going to pause and log into my Yahoo email just to show you the confirmation email. So as you can see, I have received the email from WordPress asking me to activate my blog. Right now it shows that shows where the email is from and all that. So let's click this link, make sure that it activates, and my blog is activated. Now, as the administrator of the website, as soon as this blog was activated and the user signed up, I got an email for both of those notifications. Now, those notifications can be turned off in the back end of WordPress. So now WordPress has issued me a password. So I'm going to copy that. And if I go to that site, which I named it Micah's Media, .ninjadate.com. Sorry, I need to add the admin at the end of that, WP-admin. So basically I went to that website, the admin of that website, micahsmedia.ninjadate.com/WP-admin. Now I can log in with Micah's Media, paste the password, boom. There you go. So now we have our WordPress website and it's fully functional and everything is working. So I'm going to talk about one more thing, one small minor troubleshooting issue you may run into. If everything works and you click this link, and when you click this link and it says page not found and takes you to a page not found, that means something is wrong with your wildcard subdomain. So if I go back to my network here and go back to my cPanel, and I'm just going to temporarily break the wildcard subdomain. It's not in the file manager, so we are done with that. Let's close that. And we're going to go into the cPanel and we're going to scroll down to subdomains. If I change this, I'm going to change this folder. When I change this folder, my site is not going to work anymore. I just changed it to ninja.com. You can add anything in there, but I'm just doing this just to break it. So once I go back to my other Explorer and go here, it doesn't work. So if you run into any errors, if everything works and you get to this step, which is the most common mistake and most common error that any and everyone runs into when trying to create this multi-site network. If you run into this error, that is your problem. Your problem is your subdomain is not pointing to the correct folder. If everything else works, but when you click on this link to go back to your site, or you click this link, whether it's to activate it or go to the actual site, and it is broken, then you need to go back into your cPanel and find out where that wildcard subdomain is pointing to. Previously, when we created our video, we talked about installing the network, installing WordPress. We made sure the network functionality was working and all of that. So what we're going to talk about now is creating a website in WordPress. And I'm just going to focus on just kind of narrow it down in few areas and try not to dig too deep into the actual website creation, because that could be a whole nother course. So when you access WordPress, or when you hover over your name in your dashboard for the site that we created. By the way, if you haven't logged into your dashboard, go ahead and log in now, and go into the dashboard, hover over visit site, right click, open link in new tab. Okay, so basically this is what our website looks like, and that differs depending on the theme that you have selected. So our WordPress website looks like this, right? So if we wanted to add a menu to this website, we can do this one or two ways. We can go back to our dashboard and go to appearance and go to menus. So right now this website doesn't have a actual menu associated with it. To create a menu, we'll click well, first we need to fill in this, and I normally name my menus main menu, and click create menu. Now over here are a list of different items that you can add to the menu. You can add different posts to the menu, and we're going to talk about posts a little bit later on. That's related to your blog, which is what WordPress was actually meant for. You can add pages. All the pages are associated with the site are listed here, and you can create new pages. So I'm going to click these two and add to menu. And I'm going to check this is the primary menu. Automatically add new top level pages to this menu, and you can include, I'm going to leave that unchecked for right now. I don't want to go into doing the social menu. So I'm going to click Save Menu. And when we go to our site, and we're going to hit refresh, our menu now appears. So that is how you add a menu. Now your menu will differ based on your theme or wherever the location of the menu is, depending on your theme. So if we go back to the WordPress dashboard and we go to themes, and we can select different themes. Okay. Now to add themes on a network, you have to be the network administrator. So you can go to My Sites, go to Network Admin, Dashboard, and we're going to add a new theme to be available across the network. So go to Themes, go to Add New, and you can pick any one of these themes. I'm just going to pick this one, Install. Then I'm going to click Network Enable. That's very important. Anytime you install a theme, you have to click Network Enable to make that theme available across the network. Then we're going to go back to the dashboard of that website. Dashboard. Go to Appearance and Themes. And go to Activate. Now we're going to go back here to the website tab and refresh. Now the theme has changed based off of the new theme we selected. Now go back to your dashboard, and now you'll notice that there's a Welcome to Business 1 message if you selected that theme. So, and that's another thing. Some themes may require additional plugins to function exactly like the cover image that you see. So we can go through and install those plugins or any additional plugins if needed, but we don't have to for the purpose of this demo. But what I'm going to do instead is show you how to install plugins. So now you have install plugins here, but to install plugins on the network, you need to go to Network Admin, Plugins, and Add New. So here are a list of plugins that we can install. So to install a new plugin, it's the same method for installing a new theme. You hit Install, then Network Activate. Now that theme or plugin is available. So now I gotta go to the site, Dashboard, and now under Settings, that plugin has an option available. So some plugins have warnings, some don't. So basically I just need to update my WordPress more than likely. But I didn't install that plugin to really use it. I installed it just to show you how it generally works when you install a plugin. Now we're back at the site dashboard, the dashboard for the site that we created. And we click Customize. We can customize our site a little bit more. Like for site identity, if I didn't want this to be Ninja Dates, I can change it to Ninja Dinner and Dinner Fit for a Ninja. Okay. And as you see, it updates as you change it. Hit Save and Publish to commit those changes. Hit Next. You can change the header image. And some of these things you can do on your own when you get a chance to just experiment with updating updating the different images. So I'm just going to load a test image here. Try this one. See what this one looks like. And I could have cropped the image if I wanted to, but I chose not to. So now that image now has a parallax effect going with it here. So now that image is in the background. So I could have put any image back there. So I'm just going through and just doing a little experimentation so you can see how these different options change. Now these options here that are listed will vary based on the theme that you choose. So background image, I could select something else. Maybe I want to use that for a background image. Choose image, boom, got that as a background image. That background image is too busy to remove it. I hit remove, or if I wanted to change the image, I could have changed the image. Menus, you can select different menus if you want to create more menus. So it's asking us which menu we want to use for all the different sections. So I'm just going through selecting main menu for each one. As you can see, for our main menu is here. Then we click on our blog page. We could have changed this to where on the pages for blogs there was a different menu, and our footer has the same menu. If we wanted different options for the footer menu, let's say we wanted something like your social links down there, then back in the menu section we can change that. Okay, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to click static front page. Now, static front page is the page that WordPress goes to when someone accesses your site. Right now we have it set at latest post. Your latest post is not really a page you can actually customize, so we're going to change it and click a static page and hit sample page. We're going to leave the post page blank, which will make it default to the latest post page for all your posts. So hit save, go back, and we can now scroll up on this. So there's a reason why we can't scroll up on this page, and I'm going to show you why. So let's scroll, let's see. So this has been saved, so we can click this X, and now we have to make a change. We have to make a slight change to that page that we selected as our first page. So we'll go to all pages, and we're going to go to sample page, edit, because this is page we selected. And I have a plugin installed here that removes the sidebar and it just makes the page full width. So I'm going to hit update. Now I'm going to go back to the tab we had open for our web page, which is here. So as you can see, this is the default template. So I'm going to hit refresh. See, the changes we made are available. The page is no longer full width, but we can get rid of this sidebar if we wanted to. So I'm going back to that page, and I'm going to edit this attribute, page attributes. And I'm going to change it to full width, no sidebar. Now let's go back to this and hit refresh. Now this has been made full width, but it's not quite what I wanted. So let me go back and change the option again, because that just made it full width, no sidebar. So I want to go full width. Hit update and see how that changes. Then I'm going to go back and hit refresh. So it did make a bit of a difference, so we're going to stick with the default template. Hit update, and now I'm going to hit refresh. Okay, so I'm switching back and forth, if you haven't noticed, between the different tabs as I have one page open, as I have the site open and I'm making a change. Then this is the dashboard. So within the dashboard for that particular page, and within while we edit that particular page, you're probably not going to see all these options full width, full FW full width. That's because I have this plugin installed. So if you go to plugins, actually we need to go to network admin, then plugins, add new, and if you type in full, man, if I can type full width, and the plugin that I have installed is This one, as you can see, the button has been grayed out and it says active. So this is the plugin that I have installed. So if you install that one and activate it, should be good to go. You should be able to use those options. And don't forget, because you're on a network, once you activate it, you have to do the network activate option after you install it. So that's one example of how you can change your site a little bit. I'm going to show you one more thing here. If you go into your WordPress, if you go into the plugins, if you're already there, and you do a search, type in Page Builder. There's several types of page builder or page builders out there. One particular one that I use is Front End Builder. And I'm trying to find it here. I think I ended up buying it from another website. So we're going to go back to search Page Builder. And I'm just going to pick one of these page builders so you can see how easy it is to drag and drop elements. I'm going to try this one. Now, I'm going to make a note of something here. When you look at plugins, this is very important. Make sure it's compatible with your version of WordPress. If you install a plugin and you notice that as soon as you install it, that your site is not working anymore, you have to go back in, disable your plugins, and not reinstall WordPress, but deactivate that plugin and maybe not use it anymore or something, or find the right plugin or update it. But just keep in mind that you need to check compatible with your version of WordPress. It needs to be compatible. If it's not, it's gonna do something later on down the road to break your network. Even some plugins that are compatible, they may not be compatible with other types of plugins. So I ran across that issue with operating my network. There's some plugins I want to use and make available to my clients, but it just didn't work out because some of the features conflicted with other plugins. So I just had to make that decision. Is this one plugin worth turning off, another plugin? Which one has the best value? So what we're going to do right now is go with this one because I want to try this in Page Builder Live Composer. I'm going to click install. Go to, I need to click network activate. Then now I need to go to the site that we created. And as you can see, now I have a few more options since I installed that page builder. So now it has some different options here. So this one, I don't want to use this one because that's a little bit more than what I was looking to do. And so now we're going to deactivate that one. I just don't want to use that one. Live Composer, network deactivate. This is what we installed. So I did go back to the network admin to deactivate this plugin. Now I'm going to add new page builder. Put a space between there. And let's try this one. I've used this one before. I didn't like it too much, but it'll serve the purpose of what I'm trying to do here. So I activated, so I'm going back to the dashboard, and now this one has an option here. But before we do that, let's go to pages. And we are going to click edit for our sample page. So this one doesn't give me the option to edit the page here. So let's go back here to the Elementor menu. It's not quite, this is not quite it. So we're going to try this one more time to try to find the right plugin. So basically what I am looking for is a plugin that is going to let me, I deactivated that plugin, but I'm looking for a plugin that's going to let me edit it or edit this page, edit the page I want to edit. It's going to allow me to build a WordPress page the way I want it without any code. So let's try this. Okay, we're going to try this one. Page builder. Sandwich front end page builder. Network activate. Okay, so this one is a little bit better. It's allowing me to, it's asking me create a page. So I create a new page. We're going to type the name, new. I'm just going to name it new. Then I'm going to hit publish, because sometimes with these page builders, you have to publish the page first before you can edit it. So now I'm going to edit with page builder sandwich. I don't want to watch that video, so it's asking me add an element. So I'm going to click add element. So I can add an element here depending on what I want to do. Add columns, 4 columns, HTML, Google Maps, toggle. So this is an example of a page builder, and I can just drag this into the page, and within that element I can drag this in here. It's asking me to choose a photo, so I'm going to choose one of the previously used photos. And I can get rid of this with there's different ways I can get rid of this and make this full width, but I'm not going to go into that right now. They'll be very in-depth as well. So I'm click, and I'm just going through just selecting things. So if I want to add another element, I already got a row. So what I could do is increase the padding on this, decrease the padding, and some of the stuff I'm doing I'm just hovering over the image and seeing what options are available. Ask me to duplicate that row, then I'm going to trash can that image. So now I can drop something else in that row. So maybe I want to drop an image carousel, drop that in there. Oh. So these stars, I guess this means these are pro options. So some of these plugins have pro features and standard features because the plugin is offered on WordPress for free. I guess that's how they get you to buy the actual plugin. Now, there's some plugins that you do buy that will save you a ton of money. So we went a little bit over than what I intentionally wanted to do with this lecture, but I just want to show you some different things you can use to create and customize your WordPress website. I'm not going to go through and create an actual site because I want to focus on implementing the multi-site network for your WordPress. So we did talk about all those things a little bit more than I actually anticipated. So what I want to do right now is go back to our WordPress theme. Well, one, I'm going to delete these elements. And I want to go back and I want to, now that we have done all of this and I've shown you how to pretty much customize your site, so we're going to go back and we're going to actually make the WordPress website look a little bit better, add some pages and stuff so you can have a fully functional WordPress website. So what I want you to do now is go to open up a new tab and go to a website called wpmudev.org. I already have a website with these guys, so I'm going to go to the root of the website. Actually, I'm going to log out. And we're going to go to the website. Okay, so this is what their homepage looks like. So when you get to the homepage, you're going to join, you're going to sign up with your email address and everything, and you're going to sign up for an account. It is easy. Once you sign up for an account, you can log in, you'll get access to all the different plugins. So I already have an account with them, and I'm just going to go through and show you some of these plugins, but I already have an account with them, and one of the main program plugins that we're going to use is called Pro Sites. So what this is going to do is give us some different options as far as how to manage our network. Hey everyone, we are back ready to talk to you about setting up your payment gateway with Stripe.com. So if you haven't done so already, navigate to Stripe.com, and what you're going to do is create an account. So you should see this web page when you arrive. So go ahead and click that, create a new account. So it's going to ask you for email information. So I'm going to use one of my email addresses here because I really don't want to create an account, but I'm just going to go through this real quick just to show you how easy it is to create your account on Stripe.com. So I'm going to create this account real quick. It's asking me for, let me create the password. Make sure you remember all this information and go through the reCAPTCHA. Okay. That email address already exists, so I'm going to try to use a different one. So hold on just a second. Let me save. I think I have quite a few accounts with Stripe.com that I probably used for testing in previous videos. So let me see if this one will work. Okay, so now that you're logged in, and I apologize that took a minute to do so. Now that you're logged in to the Stripe.com and to your dashboard, there's a lot of stuff that you're going to have to do here. So the first thing is click OK. Got it. Click that. The one area that you really should pay attention to is payments. So go ahead and click on payments. So so when you click on payments, you'll see all these tabs. So you're going to go to settings. And you're going to click, under settings, you're going to click activate. So now it's asking me, before I activate, I need to verify my email address. So let me go log in to my email and verify that address. So I'm going to pause the video real quick and I'm going to go do that. So hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, so I was now able to log into my email and I received this email from Stripe.com. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click the verification link. It's asking me to log in. So I'm going to click confirm your email. Okay, so now we're going to do this. Go to payments, settings, and over here, activate to accept credit card information. So when you do that, it's going to ask you to complete all this info, your legal name, your date of birth, your social security number, all of this info before you can activate your account. And the activation is just about instantaneous once you do that. So Stripe.com is one of the few payment processors or payment gateways that do not put you through too much of a hassle to do that. Just make sure you look at their guidelines as far as what you can sell on your website when you use Stripe.com. So what I'm going to do here is, okay, so we got that here. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to show you what it looks like once you activate your account, put in all that information on my other Stripe.com account. So let me go here. We'll go sign out. And we're going to go to so I'm going to try to see if I remember the password here. 4, 2. Okay, so I'm now able to log in. So I'm going to save that password. Now, once you have an account set up, you can go to payments. And as you can see, these are all the payments that I received. And now you can go to settings. And now my payments say live. So after you hit that link that says activate, that's on the same row for cards, you'll be able to accept payments on your website. But we need a little bit more information to plug this into the ProSites plugin on your WordPress dashboard. So let's go back here. So let's go go down to the left and click on API. You're going to need this information. So what I suggest you do is maybe use a text editor to copy this information and save it somewhere. But you're going to need your live key and your secret key. But for these purposes, we're gonna just copy and paste these into our ProSite's dashboard. Okay, so now we have two different kinds of API, or two versions of the API credentials: the live and the test. Of course, the test is what's used so you can test that ProSites is communicating correctly with Stripe.com, and vice versa. And the live, of course, is that if you actually make a purchase, the purchase is actually going to go through. So I just went ahead and went with the live because in the past I've encountered problems with using just the test. Sometimes it would fail, and I wouldn't notice that it failed until later on and all this other stuff. So I always start with the live. You can start with test if you want. Then once you really test everything out and you really see how ProSites works, and you do a little bit of experimentation on your own, then you can go to live if you want. But for the purpose of this video, let's just copy the live key. Start with the test, and after you do a little bit more experimentation with ProSites and see how it works, then you can change over to the live secret key. So one thing about this, you will need an SSL, but since we did this on a cPanel virtual private server, the SSL is included, so you don't have to worry about that. But if you do this on a shared hosting and you deviate from this course material in any kind of way, if you try to use this live secret key without that SSL, it will fail. It will not go through, and it will also create a problem that every transaction after that, even though you do put the live key in there or secret key, it'll continue to fail until you get that SSL, and also until you do some other kind of maintenance on the back end to your web server. So if you haven't done so already, navigate to your WordPress website that we created, go to the network admin dashboard, and go down to ProSites, and go to payment gateways, then click on Stripe.com or the Stripe section, and you can always keep it forced SSL, because when processing payments and credit cards, you always want to use the SSL certificate. If you want to learn more about SSL, you can Google that and learn what they're for. So secret key, publishable key, same thing. So I'm going to copy the live secret key, copy, paste, back, same thing, copy, paste. Then I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to hit save. So now the payment gateway has been saved. So now I'm going to open up a new window in Internet Explorer, and I'm going to go to that website. And since we previously set this up before and went to it, that's the name of the link I need to go to. By default, your ProSite sign up page will be ninjadate.com or whatever your domain is /pro-site/this. Okay. So now if I wanted to sign up for a new site, I could click this, sign up, Then it's going to ask me for a username, and I'm going to use a different email address. And I'm just typing some stuff in here. It says allow search engines to index this site. I'm going to click yes, reserve your site. So it says that username has been taken. I should have known that. Reserve your site. And as you can see, now it's asking for a credit card, asking for credit card information, and now this transaction would go through. So I could go ahead and put my credit card information since it's my um, credentials. So I'll go ahead and do that. The money's going to come back to me anyway. So let me go ahead and do that. Sometimes it may not actually let me process the transaction because it's mine, but we'll see. Okay, and hit subscribe. So something happened here. So let me check this out here. And I'm just going to try this again. Okay. Put in info. One. Okay, so what I needed to do before is I needed to choose a plan because I hit sign up, but I need to choose a plan. I didn't do that, so that's what happened before. That's why it didn't go through. So I need to come back up here, choose plan. Sure. Yep. So as you can see, it's highlighting gray in which plan is chosen. I think maybe I didn't do that before. So hit subscribe. And it says processing. It's going through. Okay, there we go. So maybe it just takes a minute for it to actually take effect. And maybe I didn't hit that choose plan just like I said. But as you can see, now the payment went through. So I'm also going to show you something else as well. So hold on just a second here. I'm going to log into my Gmail account and I'll be right back. So as you can see, I am logged into my WordPress website and I am logged into, let me change that. Sorry, I'm logged into my Gmail account and WordPress has sent me the email. And as you can see that it has notified me that a new site was registered and you'll get the new site email once payment has been received and once the payment goes through. Then the next email is that a new user has been registered and it shows their IP address. Now, furthermore, it also gives you this link down here at the bottom to where you can disable that connection. So we have our payment set up and it has successfully gone through. So it's one more thing that we can check to ensure that the payment has gone through. So I'm going to go back to the Stripe account. And I'm going to go to payments. Right there, the payment that we just used has gone through, and it says description. I guess that's auto generated by Stripe.com, but it tells the customer the email address and everything. So this is the payment that we just did just now for $1. So that what that shows me is that the first time we did it, we didn't go through because I didn't have the correct plan selected. But now we have the payment functionality up and running, working. Everything is working. So in some later videos, we got to customize our site a little bit more to make it look a little prettier and make it look sexy. So let's go ahead and get ready for the next video. So what we're going to talk about is a few plugins, or what you're going to need next are a few plugins. So I'm here at the WPMU Dev website. So that website is WPMUDEV.org. And when you go to this website, you're going to go and you're going to sign up for a free account. It's easy, and once you signed up, you can log right in. So once you're signed up for a free account, go ahead and log in. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now and log in for my account that I have set up. And once you log in, you may see a screen similar to this. Of course, I got a few notices and a few things here. So once you log in, go all the way down to plugins. Or I should say go up to plugins, and you're going to scroll down and you're going to select WPMU Dev Dashboard. Should be the first plugin. So once you hit that, you're going to come to the home page. Yeah, this is so once you hit that, you're going to come to the home page for that plugin. Click download. And you're going to download that plugin to your desktop or wherever it saves it to. For me, it's saved in download, so I'm going to click show in folder. I'm going to extract that file, go into it. Okay. So I really didn't need to extract it. I just wanted to make sure everything was there. So close that window, and what you're going to do now is go to the dashboard of your network admin for the site that we have created. Go to plugins, click on add new, click upload, click it again, and it should say browse there, and you're going to select that zip file that we just downloaded. And here it is. And I'm going to click install. Now I'm going to network activate this plugin. Now it's asking me to log in with the email address that we used to create our account. So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to ask it to put don't save. Alright, so now we are logged into the dashboard. So now we have a few options. So we have the dashboard for this particular plugin within the network of our site. So what you're going to do next is you are going to go to plugins. And as you can see, we have installed plugins, So what we're going to do is look for a plugin called ProSites. So we're going to install ProSites. So to do that, click install. And it's asking us, what do we want to do? Successfully install ProSites. Do you want to activate the plugin now? Click activate. So now ProSites is installed. And so what we're going to do now is go back up here to, actually we're going to click here to ProSites. Okay, manage sites. So we got quite a few options here. So before we do that, we're going to install one more plugin, not in the WPMU dev dashboard, but we're going to go to the normal regular WordPress plugin. So go to plugins, add new, and you're going to type in show blog ID. Or type in blog ID. Reveal IDs. What this plugin does is to reveal most remove IDs on admin pages. That's not the one. So what I'm looking for is I'm trying to find a plugin that shows the blog IDs. So I'm going to have to go back and see where I got that plugin from, because it's a very useful plugin that will help out later on. But I don't see it here, so we'll come back to that shortly. So, alright, so let's proceed with ProSites. So when you click on ProSites, this is what you'll have. You have your blog ID, your activation key, activate blog, or search site. That is not important right now. What is important is, one, the settings. Go to your settings. And for right now, you're going to leave this the same. And the reason you're going to leave this same, because whatever you change this to will be your ProSite. So the reason we install ProSites and what ProSites actually does, it allows us to offer a more customized options to our customers. So right now with our network, the way we have it is that the customers can sign up for any blog. So maybe you want to have certain levels of service for each type of blog. So ProSites allow you to do that. If you want to find out more about ProSites, you could visit the WPMU Dev website, click on plugins, scroll down to ProSites, and you can watch their brief little intro video about ProSites. But if I scroll through, as you can see, this is what you can do with your WordPress blogs. Offer different levels of service. You can restrict it to certain things. You can even allow your users to run their network, and so many things, ad-free, domain mapping, all that stuff. So yeah, so those are different options that you can use. And also it tells you here 3 payment gateways supported, 24 currencies, market with coupons and free trials, create a hosted multi-site network, and offers different information about ProSites. Then as you scroll down, the tab detail is selected, but if you use usage, click on usage, it tells you a little bit more info about how to use ProSites. Now these pictures are a little bit old, so the interface doesn't quite look like this on the back end. It's a little different, as you can see, but all the information is there. And also, this company provides tech support for their plugins. So let me go back here to our Pro Site settings in that tab. And like I said, you're gonna leave this. Let's leave this as default for right now. And show sign up message. And here you're going to disable the WordPress sign up option. So right now, your users can sign up. If I were to log out, they'll be able to register through this option. So if I open that up in a different browser, which I'm going to open it up in Internet Explorer, ninjadates.com. Sorry, I typed in my own address wrong. ninjadate.com. Okay, so now they can log in and they can register as of right now. But when we check that disable WordPress, they won't be able to do so. See, now we have the pro sites in. Now they were redirected to the pro site login or registration page instead of the standard WordPress registration page. Because the standard WordPress registration page is the page that we use to test our site and create our site in the previous video. But instead, they will be redirected here. So I don't have any plans set up. So we're going to come back to this here shortly. So close that out. I just wanted to show you that so you can see what we're actually doing in the and how that is going to be implemented. So now we have WordPress. Okay, so we have general settings, rebrand, all these different options, all this other stuff. Leave it as default for right now. Leave that as default. Sign up for a pro site, checkout permissions, leave those as default. Free trial disabled. You can enable that. You can say, hey, customers can sign up for a free trial. Then after X amount of days, they have to pay. And you can charge a setup fee. And you can charge enable subscriptions. So basically, it gives you, as you can see, it tells you what each option does when you hover over the question mark. You can incorporate Google Analytics code so you can see how well your site is doing and all that. So you can go to email notifications. These pertain to the emails that your customer received based off the scenario described on the left hand side. You could go in and set that up later on at your own or whenever you get a chance. Currency settings, US dollars. I'm in US, so I'm using US dollars. That's self-explanatory. If you're charging tax, that's on you, whether you want to charge tax and stuff like that. But yeah, so what we're gonna do now, go to payment gateways. You're gonna say, okay, you don't have any payment gateways set up. The 3 payment gateways that are supported are PayPal Express and Stripe. So for PayPal Express, I actually have a PayPal Express account, and I actually have a Stripe account. So what I'm going to end up using is my Stripe account because I know I can get access to that. So I'm going to select my Stripe account, force live site, save changes, go to gateway settings, enable Stripe as my primary account, hit save. Now I'm going to go to I'm going to check out pricing tables. I use it a little bit. Customizing the pricing tables can be time consuming. So what we're going to do here Before we do pricing tables, let's do levels. So right now we only have one level. So I'm just going to say Pro 2. That's the next level. And you got to have some kind of price in here. So I'm going to do $1, $3, $5, add. And for the next one, I'm going to do Pro 3 and type in $2, $6, $10. Add. Now hit save levels just to ensure that everything has been saved. So now that is good to go. So now next thing is go to pricing tables. So now we have some options. So we're going to show our feature level. Make this one our featured level. So this one's going to be highlighted. Enable highlighted or highlight feature level. We'll enable that. Tab layout was the tab layout. We're going to allow coupons and period selector position. Let's say above the table. And hit save changes. Now we're going to click on feature table. So these are the different features that are going to be available. One, we'll hit enable feature table. And as you can see, we have nothing in here whatsoever. So let's do this. So open up a new browser window in a different browser and go to your website that you created, the actual front end. Scroll down, click on register. See, now we have a table. So coupon is off to the left. Period selector is on top. So this is what it looks like when your user goes in and try to sign up for a site. And basically how this looks determined is somewhat determined by the overall look of your theme. But you can even style this table. So let's go back to our other browser and add some options in. Let's say size. And you can add a brief description. So you can say size. Name this feature is size. Description is size of or HD space. Hit add. Then that is saved. And so that's going to be a check mark because it's available for that plan. So let me hit save. Then click on Pro 2 right here and Pro 3. So when you add one level, it's added all across the board. So let me go here. So as you add more levels, you can move them around. So now that I hit save, let's go back to that other window that I opened and let's hit refresh. See, hard drive space. So instead of using a check mark, I could put something else here. So let's try that. And now that we've done that, see, let's click here. Let's refresh this page. See what it says, how that's changed. So for this one, it changes to 10. So I could put 10 gigabytes. So it changed just for that one. So when you change the custom text, it changes for whatever level you have selected. So I have Pro selected here, and I changed that one to 10. So I'm going to go to Pro 2, change it to 20, hit save. Go to Pro 3, change it to 30, hit save. And sorry, let me go back. And once I hit refresh, it has now all changed. So if I were to go in and take that check mark out, so I need to change that to none. For the other levels, so for Pro 2, put none, because we're using custom text. Hit save. Pro 3, none, hit save. And I'll just hit save again just to ensure that it changed. And go back, hit refresh. And it has all changed. So I don't quite like how this one stands out. So we're going to change that. So let's go back to styling. And we're gonna go with that tab layout. But let's go back. Let's go to feature table. Not feature table. Let's go to pricing table. And let's take off highlight featured level. Hit save. Sorry, I did that kind of quick. So let's go back, make sure that's saved. So now hit save, and we're going to refresh this page. Now I like that better as that goes across. Now you can change the name of your sites to anything that you want. So that's that's how you customize that table, and that's how you change all of that. So the next thing that we are going to do, go to payment gateways, and we enabled Stripe, but what we're going to have to do is get our Stripe information. So in our next video, what we're going to discuss is how to sign up for an account with Stripe.com, which is one of the easiest things to do. You can use PayPal, but I'm not going to go through PayPal because sometimes PayPal can get a little bit complicated. Recently, they had an issue to where I was not able to access my API credentials. And for those of you who are not sure what API credentials are, they're just credentials that allow you to log into their software from a different set of software remotely to conduct your PayPal transactions. So I'm going to deal with Stripe because Stripe is easier to deal with. As you can see, it's less fields to fill out, and you just put a thank you message, and you can also upload a logo at some point. I think it's on their dashboard. So that's what we're going to do next is enable our Stripe gateway. We're back with the next video in this section. So far, we have done a lot to our website to get our WordPress multi-site network up and running. The next thing we're going to do is talk about domain mapping. With domain mapping, we're going to ensure that our customers can create their or own custom domain and map it to a WordPress sub site or to a pro site. So what we're going to do is log into the dashboard, if you haven't done so already, for the WordPress network. Log in under the admin, go straight to the admin dashboard. Go to your WPMU dev, then down to plugins. And we're going to install a plugin that's going to make that possible. We won't really be able to fully test the plugin until or until your customers or clients get a domain to register. So what you're going to do is go to the top here, plugins, search plugins, type in domain mapping, and it is this one. So you can click install, click activate. Okay, now let's click configure. So now it's telling us that we need to make a couple of setting changes or make a couple of changes. Excuse me. We need to make a couple of changes to our in our file manager. Please copy the Sunrise PHP from your plugin folder, yada, yada, yada. So we got to do all these things to ensure that our domain mapping will be successful. So the next step would be we're going to log into our cPanel web hosting manager, then log into the file manager. Open a new tab and go to your for your virtual private server, exit to WHM, just like we've done before in previous videos, account, list accounts, and we're going to go to the account for our networks. We clicked on that cPanel logo, and we are going to go to File Manager. Now let's go back to our WordPress website and review what we're supposed to do. Please copy the Sunrise PHP from your plugin folder. And this tells us where that file is, and we're going to put it to our WP content folder. So this is how we're going to do this. We're going to go to public, HTML, content, plugins, and domain mapping, Sunrise. We're going to copy, and best way to do this is select everything after the / that's before the word plugins, delete it, and click copy file. So let's go back and review to make sure where we're supposed to copy. You're supposed to copy it from that domain mapping folder within the plugins folder to the public HTML WP content Sunrise. We did that. Okay, so let's copy this, and we need to add this line of code. We're going to add this line of code here as stated in the WP config file. And where we're going to add this code is right before where we added the code in the previous video to turn on the multi-site network function. So let's go up one level. Let's see. Let's go up one more level. And we are in, as you can see right here, we're in the public HTML WP content folder. Now that we're in this folder, we can see that the sunrise.php file is there. So that's good. And the next thing we're going to do, right click. We went up one level and we're going to right click on code edit. And we're going to scroll down to where we see not there, not there. Sure. It's right here. That's all, stop editing. So let's put a space there. So I went to that line and I hit return or enter. Paste the line of code that was suggested to us. And I do think we need a semicolon after that. Then hit save. Then I hit close. And we should be done with that tab. Hit close. And we're going to go back to WordPress. And let's refresh this page. Okay, that error has went away and everything should be working for the domain mapping. So we're going to leave that blank, or we're going to leave that as default. We're going to leave that as default. And we are going to leave this as default. We're really going to leave all this as default. If you can, but right now I'm leaving. Well, no, we're going to put force HTTPS because I think we're going to need that for payment processing gateways, Slough, Siteman's, all this stuff. And let's check all these blocks right here for selected pro site levels. Hit save. Now we're going to hit reseller options. Do you remember what I said about keeping that enom.com password and login credentials and everything handy? So this is where this comes in. Disable login, select reseller API request log level. We're going to keep that as default for right now. Select enom. And what we're going to do is plug in our account ID. That's going to be your username, and I believe that's correct. It's going to be your username and your password for your account that you use to log in to enom.com. You can do test or production environment. I'm going to do production environment and enable SSL verification. Okay, you use enom credit pro, pay attention to the service, blah, blah, blah. You can read this. Okay, so we don't have any other option to deselect this, so we're just going to hit save. So something is wrong with my username, so type it. I guess I put in the wrong username and password. So I'm going to go ahead and save. Don't update. So definitely something's wrong with my username and password. So let me try this again. Okay, so we're going to try this one more time. See if I can get this to save correctly. Try this. Okay, I finally got my password in there. So once you type everything in there correctly, it should look like this. No error messages. Then keep note of your domain, your IP address. Keep note of your IP address for your. Copy this. This is our server IP address. So when clients register, they want to, if they buy their domain with someone else, they want to point that domain to their subsite on your server. They would put in your IP address that will be listed here and hit save. And you can, as stated here, you can customize the appear on their domain mapping page, but I leave that blank right now. I don't have any reason to customize it just yet. And map domains. Once domains are mapped, they should look like this, or they should be listed here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you what map domains look like, because on my other site, I actually have a couple domains that are mapped. So now I am in the domain mapping dashboard, or in the network dashboard on one of the networks that I manage. And I'm going to show you what it looks like once a domain is mapped. So you can see here, I have the site ID listed here, which is generated by WordPress. Then this is the name of the domain that I added to my server, and of the website right here, or the subsite. So both of these websites were hosted on a different server, and I updated the DNS records with that register. So basically, I think this one was on a server with 1-in-1 hosting, and this one was with GoDaddy. So we have customers that own domain with such and such company, but they want to use your service to host their website. This is how you point that particular domain, or I'm going to show you how you point that particular domain to the WordPress website. So you're going to need a little bit of information. What you're going to need first is to know what your actual name servers are. Now, name servers can be very, and now that I've clicked to the cPanel, I'm going to show you how to find out what your name servers are. So go to Home. Here in the search bar, type in name server. As soon as you type in name server, or to start to type in name server, let's see what comes up. Name server selection. Nope, that's not what we're looking for. Another way. Go to your cPanel for your account and go to domains. And when you go to domains, you're going to go to, let's see. Nope, that's not it. What you're looking for is the name of name servers. So let's see, I think it may be under zone editor. No, it's not it. So let's go back to your web hosting manager. Should be here, name server record report. Okay, yes, name server record report. So this is what you're looking for. So right here, you go to name server record, name server. So this is what you have to update on your customer's website within their control panel. ns7-hosttech.com, nsa.hosttech.com. That's what it is for me. It may be different for you when you set up your server, but that's what it is for mine. You set this up, or once that customer tell their web hosting company, hey, I need you to point my name server or point my domain to these two name servers. Once that step is complete, what you're going to do is go into your cPanel Web Hosting Manager, and let's go to the home, and you're going to go down to add-on domains. Let's see. Add-on domains. Actually, yeah, you're still gonna go to add-on domains. I just want to check something here. See, let's say we click on manage redirection. Nope, that's not it. So what I'm gonna have to do is show you what this looked like on for my other WordPress network. So I'm gonna switch networks real quick. I have this option to switch networks right here because I have two accounts here. You may not have this option because you're just getting set up. So I'm going to switch to this real quick. And it looks like when you add on a domain. Okay, so these are the two websites that we added on. And so when we added these domains on, only thing we did was type in the name of the domain. It created the domain. And here's the, and we hit add on. So whatever the domain your customer brings to you after their name servers have been updated with their register, as I showed you here, ns7.hosttech.com, nsa.hosttech.com. That is what it is for my name servers. It may be different for you, but you would find it under name server record report. Give that information to your client, have them tell their registrar to send that information or update that information on their end. And once they do that, that's when you can go into cPanel and create an add-on domain. And now that domain will be redirected to the correct domain. Now, when you do this, it automatically adds this this folder within the root, but you don't want that. What you want is to have it directed to the root, to the document root of your website, which would be the public_HTML folder. So as we scroll down, these websites are pointing to the root. So now our WordPress site. So like I said, we have no domains here, but once you get those domains, I've showed you what they will look like. So now let's run through and take a look at all these options. I don't see any error messages. So everything for domain mapping is good to go so far. Congratulations, everyone. We have completed the final lesson in this course and you are done. We have completed everything we needed to do to create and manage a WordPress multi-site network. We signed up for VPS. We signed up for eNom reseller account. We have installed WordPress into a site. We've turned on multi-site functionality. We activated domain mapping, and we have also installed other plugins and themes to make our WordPress website fully functional. Now that you've done all of that, take a few more moments on your own and go through and kind of further customize your website a little bit more to really make it your own. Add pictures, add more relevant data that you think will entice potential customers and clients to sign up for one of your websites or one of your pro sites. Make your website unique. Find that niche which is your market, within your market. There's several different things you can do to attract clients to your website and to your services. Offer a website as an add-on service to other products that you may be selling with your business if you own a business or have a business or something like that. Those are just a few ideas. But for right now, you are good to go for setting up your WordPress multi-site network from start to finish. If you found this course very helpful to you, go ahead and leave me that 5-star rating. If you have any questions about anything, feel free to ask me anytime within the Q&A section or within the other resources that's provided by Udemy. Furthermore, if you feel like I don't deserve that 5-star rating, feel free to tell me how I can make this course better. But other than that, I will see you next time on my next course.